Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Thursday. It is the 24th of December. Happy Christmas Eve. And we are in storm watch. A very powerful windstorm is on the way. It's going to include a lot of rain, and the potential is there for some thunderstorm activity as well. We'll start things off by taking a look at the wind warning. Stretches from Kingston right down to Windsor. 80 to 100 kilometer an hour gusts. Those are damaging winds. If we do see thunderstorm activity, a lot of areas could see locally higher amounts, like higher wind gusts over 100 kilometers an hour. But as it stands right now, looks as though 80 to 100 kilometer an hour, fairly widespread gusts. Now the rain is going to be kind of on again, off again, on again, off again. The heaviest rain is going to be coming in throughout the evening tonight. And of course, if we do see thunderstorm activity, locally higher amounts certainly going to be possible. It is mild this afternoon. We're looking at 7 through Newmarket, 8 in Oshawa, 8 through Toronto, 9 in Hamilton. This evening, temperatures don't change at all, except they actually get a little warmer. Through Brantford, we're going to get up to 10 degrees. 7 through Orangeville, 7 in Barrie, and then the cold front comes through. Take a look at this contrast. We're looking at 3 degrees for Toronto tomorrow morning, 2 through Barrie and Newmarket, and 0 in Orangeville. All those areas that are going to be hovering around that freezing mark, that is where we might see a little bit of mixing. Widespread rainfall amounts anywhere between 15 and 30 millimeters. Downtown, it looks more like 15, but up through Barrie, we could see closer to 30. It's going to stay all rain for us through the evening tonight, but then tomorrow morning is where we can see that mix. I'll talk more about the winds coming up in just a few moments, but first, here's Chrissy with traffic.
Well, the holiday gift for commuters is the lighter volume out on the roads. We are still seeing some pockets of patchy fog, though. As for the drive on the QEW, both Toronto and Niagara bound, it's just starting to see a little bit more volume popping up there. But for more on the active weather story, over to you, Emily.
Thanks, Chrissy. Winds are certainly our biggest story. We do have winds sustained today, anywhere between 40 to 60 kilometers an hour by this evening. Gusts potentially 80 to 100. When we start to see those pinks, those are sustained at 60 plus. So the Niagara region, that certainly has the potential, as well as the shores of Georgian Bay. We're going to be seeing a lot of strong winds. So this is where we're going to see the potential for power outages, trees coming down, Christmas decorations flying everywhere. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody will be waking up with power tomorrow morning so they can cook their Christmas turkey. Now, we do have lots of rain to talk about throughout the day today, and the thunderstorm potential comes in later on this afternoon, in through this evening, throughout much of the GTA. Because of the warm temperatures and because of that cold front. As soon as that warm air meets cold air, that's where we could see those convective showers. We do start to clear throughout the day tomorrow. The precipitation will ease, but we may see a shot of snow before it's all over because temperatures are going to cool dramatically behind that cold front. By Friday, we'll actually see a little bit of sunshine, and Saturday doesn't look too bad. We'll actually get away with a fairly decent day, but Saturday night into Sunday, rain switching over into mixing. Well, if you're just heading out the door to grab your breakfast, grab your rain jacket, not your winter parka. These temperatures are incredibly mild. We're looking at 6 degrees this morning through Toronto, 4 through Hamilton, 7 in St. Catharines, 5 through Newmarket, 4 through Orangeville, only 3 in Barrie. So yeah, if I was in Barrie, I'd certainly put on my winter jacket. Now, if you do have travel plans this morning and through the east and through Kingston, we're looking at 7 degrees. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Thursday. It's the 24th of December. I don't know. I have like Christmas spirit right now. Chrissy Van and I were just talking, and we can't believe that it's already Christmas Eve. But we're in storm watch. We have a wicked system on the way that's going to bring us rain. It's going to bring us wind, and it's also going to bring us the potential for isolated thunderstorms. Who's heard of thunderstorms on Christmas Eve? Yeah, it hasn't happened for a few years, that's for sure. Wind warning in place stretches from Kingston right down to Windsor and up through Parry Sound. Winds sustained 60 kilometers an hour, gusting 80 to 100 by tonight. Tonight's going to be the strongest. Rain on and off, on and off, on and off. It's gray, it's drizzly, it's damp, it's wet. 8 degrees is our daytime high this afternoon, 9 through Hamilton. We're looking at 8 in Kitchener, 6 in Orangeville, 7 through Barrie and Newmarket. This evening is even going to be just as, or even in some cases, milder throughout southern Ontario. This is our best chance of thunderstorm activity. All this mild air, that southwesterly flow, and then as soon as that cold front hits, that's where we could see those convective showers. By tomorrow morning, We're looking at much cooler temperatures behind that cold front. We've got 3 degrees through Toronto as well as in through Hamilton, 0 through Orangeville, 2 in Barrie and Newmarket, and 4 in Oshawa. So if you're dreaming of a white Christmas, fingers crossed you just might get one. I just hope you have power to cook your Christmas dinner. We are going to be seeing about 15 to 30 millimeters of rain, fairly widespread throughout the GTA. Closer to the downtown core, closer to 15 millimeters, but up through northern areas. If you're traveling up towards the Nickel Belt, 30 to 45 millimeters, certainly not out of the question. All rain for tonight, and then tomorrow morning, that is where we could see that brief transition over to some mixing with those colder temperatures. Talk more about the wind coming up, but first, here's Chrissy with traffic. Thanks, Chrissy. The winds are going to start to pick up later on this afternoon, but more so into this evening. We are going to start to see winds sustained 50, I would say 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, depending on where you are. But at around 10 p.m., this is going to be the strongest winds. And take a look. We're actually seeing little shots of pink. That's sustained winds up to 60 kilometers an hour, gusting 80 to 100. These winds can be damaging. We could start to see Christmas decorations flying around. Unfortunately, trees could come down on power lines, which is it's just unbelievably bad for Christmas Day. So let's keep our fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Once this system moves through, it's still going to be windy throughout the afternoon tomorrow, but once this system moves through, we are going to start to see a nice clearing trend. Risk of thunderstorms is going to be coming in through Owen Sound, Orangeville, through Guelph, and through Hamilton. I wouldn't rule out downtown Toronto either. I mean, let's just put everybody in the same kind of pocket. Once this cold front hits, that's where we're going to trigger that convective activity. Behind the cold front, much cooler temperatures. The rain could potentially switch over to a bit of mixing and then a little shot of snow as we get a little bit of lake enhancement from Huron and Georgian Bay. But by Friday, things are improving dramatically. We're going to see a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures are still going to be quite mild. And Saturday, we're looking at a daytime high of 7 degrees. A little bit of sunshine, but then Saturday night, new system develops. This is going to be bringing us some rain and the potential for it to switch into mixing behind the cold front throughout the day on Sunday. Stay with us. Our Storm Watch coverage continues. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It has been a very busy day. It's Thursday. It is the 24th of December. Happy Christmas Eve. We are in Storm Watch. We have wind, rain, and the potential for thunderstorms on the way throughout the day today. So with all of that, we better get started. We've got rain that's moving in through the GTA right now. We're dealing with fog patches that are pretty dense. And the wind, that's not going to be our story until later on tonight. The thunderstorm potential is going to be in the afternoon and through the evening with that cold front hitting all of that warm, muggy air. So maybe we can move this and I can get a map. Ooh, if I push hard enough. There we go. All right, here's the wind warning. It stretches from Kingston all the way down to Windsor. This is going to be sustained winds at about 60 kilometers an hour, potentially 40 to 60, gusts 80 to 100. These are damaging winds. These could bring down power lines and leave people without power for tomorrow morning. Grab a generator. Have a plan B. At this point, we are telling you, have a plan B. maybe think about cooking the turkey today. All right, we are seeing the rain moving in through Owen Sound up through Barrie. Toronto, it's kind of on again, off again, on again, off again. Fog is an issue. Chrissy's going to break that down for you in just a few moments. 7 in Barrie, 7 in Newmarket, 8 in Oshawa. 8 through Toronto this afternoon and 9 in Hamilton. It's these mild temperatures and the cold front that could trigger that convective activity this afternoon, more so for this evening. We're looking at 7 in Barrie, 7 in Newmarket, 8 in Oshawa, 10 through Brantford. Look at the contrast between tonight and tomorrow morning. 3 through Toronto. We can thank the cold front and those northwesterly winds for dropping our temperatures dramatically, but we also have the potential to see some snow with this colder air moving in. Our rain will switch over to some mixing and we could see a shot of snow. A thunderstorm risk map. Never thought you'd see this on Christmas Eve. Severe winds are certainly going to be an issue, especially down towards the south, but that thunderstorm risk map, as you can see, takes over all of southern Ontario and up through the east as well. Rainfall amounts 15 to 30 millimeters, downtown core 15, up through Barrie 30 millimeters. All rain tonight. Chance of mixing throughout the morning tomorrow morning. All right, here's Chrissy now with an update on traffic. Thanks, Chrissy. Winds gusting, or I should say sustained, 40 to 60 kilometers an hour. The potential to see gusts 80 to 100 kilometers an hour tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So the strongest wind gusts are going to be through about 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. And look at that. We're actually seeing little shots of pink over the lake. So that's sustained winds over 60 kilometers an hour. Once this system gets kind of done with us. We are going to be seeing a calmer day, but the winds are still going to be quite gusty for Christmas Day. They'll start to ease throughout the day on Friday, and we are going to be seeing the potential for some sunshine. I feel like we haven't seen sun in ages. Heaviest rain is going to be through the evening, through the overnight. It'll taper off tomorrow morning. Could see a shot of mixing and the potential to be waking up to a tiny bit of a white Christmas. All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Yeah, we'll check in with Chrissy in just a few moments, but I want to show you a couple of maps before we get to your traffic. We've got rain, we've got wind, and we've got the potential for thunderstorms. A wind warning in place stretches from Kingston right down through Windsor. Sustained winds 60 kilometers an hour possible, gusts 80 to 100. We're talking damaging wind gusts. This could bring down power lines. So if you are planning a huge Christmas dinner, I would have a plan B just in case, because there's nothing worse to not being able to cook your turkey with no power. There's nothing worse. Okay, so we've got the showers as Kevin was mentioning. Here's a look at the radar. Kevin's standing in Oakville, so he's seeing the showers right now, but some areas are actually getting little bits of breaks here and there. Temperatures this afternoon, we're getting up to 8 degrees through Toronto, 9 in Hamilton. I mean, we're pretty stationary. Kevin was mentioning, that's kind of where we are right now, so our temperatures aren't going to change too much. But in some cases, take a look at Brantford. We actually go up a degree. We are going to be seeing that really warm push of southerly air, and that's what's going to trigger the risk of isolated thunderstorms. I'll show you that in a moment as well. Look at the temperature contrast from today to tomorrow morning. That cold front is going to trigger northwesterly winds. Temperatures are going to drop significantly. We could see some mixing. Areas that are hovering on the freezing mark, straight snow. The thunderstorm risk map. You never see these on Christmas Eve, but this year we are. We've got the potential to see isolated, non-severe thunderstorms with very, very severe winds anywhere throughout southern Ontario this afternoon and in through the evening. 15 to 30 millimeters of rain on the way, 15 more so for the downtown core, but up through Barrie, 30 certainly not out of the question. Here's Chrissy now with an update on that fog. Thanks, Chrissy. The winds are really going to start to pick up in intensity this evening into tonight. So we're looking at sustained winds, 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, possibly even more so. Look at these little patches of pink. That's 60 and above for sustained. Gusts 80 to 100. Certainly if we do see some thunderstorm activity, we could see some gusts over 100 kilometers an hour. Regardless, it is going to be a windy night through about 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. Then winds will start to ease. They're going to come in from a different direction. They'll be coming in from more of the north. And that is where we're going to see that transition to that rain-snow mix. Heaviest rain and greatest potential for thunderstorms is going to be coming in through this evening. Behind the cold front, temperatures dramatically dropping. Quick shot of snow, potentially a little bit of mixing. And then throughout the day on Thursday, we do start to clear out. We'll have a fairly decent Friday. We're going to see some sunshine. And then on Saturday, a new system forms. This is going to be giving us some rain through the overnight, potentially mixing to snow for Sunday. Because look, again, temperature contrast. 7 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Storm watch continues. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that's certainly going to be a big story this morning. It's going to be the fog and the rain, and then this afternoon will be the wind, the thunderstorms, and the rain into the evening. Wind warning in place stretches from Kingston right down through London into Windsor, up through Haliburton. We are going to see very, very gusty conditions through Owen Sound as well. It is going to be one of those days where you think, this is Christmas Eve. It doesn't feel like Christmas. It feels like Halloween. It's actually going to be warmer than it was on Halloween. We're seeing the rain on and off. Kevin's in Oakville, so we are still seeing showers kind of light at this point. They're going to continue to be kind of on again, off again throughout the day, but it's going to be misty. It's going to be really drizzly. We're looking at a high of 8 degrees through Toronto, 9 through Hamilton, 7 through Barrie. This evening, in some cases, temperatures go up. And through Brantford, this is going to be our best chance of seeing some isolated, non-severe thunderstorms, but the severe winds are really going to start to pick up through the evening hours. Look at the contrast for tomorrow morning. We're looking at 3 degrees behind that cold front. The potential is there for a little bit of mixing. The thunderstorm risk map stretches from Ottawa right through down through Kincardine into Windsor, London, Hamilton, Toronto. Everybody is included in this, and it's going to be more so this evening. Just as that cold front hits all that warm, muggy air, that is where we're going to see that convective activity. 15 to 30 millimeters, certainly not out of the question. Downtown core, we're looking closer to 15. We'll talk more about the winds in just a moment, but first, here's Chrissy. Very gusty conditions later on this evening through the overnight and tomorrow morning. Take a look at this legend. When we start to see the pink, that means our winds are sustained at 60 kilometers an hour. So they're really going to start to pick up later on this evening through the overnight. As you can see there, the colors changing to more of the reds to the pinks, especially over the lakes. Winds are going to be gusting anywhere between 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. And of course, if we do see some thunderstorm activity, that could go a little bit higher. So as we go through tomorrow for Christmas Day, the winds are still going to be quite strong, especially as the system tracks its way east. But the rain will ease. It'll transition into a little bit of snow, potentially a little bit of mixing behind this cold front through the late overnight and early tomorrow morning. And then we could see just a touch of lake enhancement coming off of Huron and Georgian Bay. Once this system is through with us on Thursday, Friday looks much better. We're seeing a high of 5 with a mix of sun and cloud. Saturday, a good day for travelers, 7 degrees. We are going to see this system develop and give us some rain through the overnight, potentially switching to snow for Sunday. Don't go anywhere. All of our Storm Watch coverage continues next. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Kevin. I think the old record was 1964, set at Pearson 12.2. So there's a good chance. I mean, we're seeing daytime highs around 8, 10, 11 degrees throughout the area. So the potential is there. Kevin was mentioning we are in storm watch for this very significant system that could really be impacting travel. It's not going to be snow, thankfully. It is, however, going to be very, very windy tonight, and it's going to be very wet. Wind warning stretches from Kingston, Toronto, up through Owen Sound, down through London and through Windsor. Winds gusting 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. And in some cases, if we do see some thunderstorm activity, we could see wind gusts a little bit higher than that. Here's a look at the rainfall. Kevin's kind of out of it right now through Oakville. We're seeing a bit of a break, but downtown seeing some showers, up through Barrie seeing some rain, and through eastern areas of the city seeing some showers. Temperatures this afternoon are actually going to be well above our seasonal average. We should be closer to -1 for this time of year. And we're going to see a daytime high of 8 in the city. 9 through Hamilton, 7 in Barrie as well as the Newmarket. And then take a look at Brantford. The temperature actually goes up through this evening. Now, as that cold front approaches and hits all this kind of mild air, that's our best chance of seeing some convective activity. The setup is right. By tomorrow morning, however, behind that cold front, those northwesterly winds kick it up. We're going to see much colder temperatures. We're only looking at temperatures around 3 degrees tomorrow morning for Toronto and Hamilton, 2 through Barrie, 0 for you in Orangeville. So areas that are hovering around that freezing mark could see some straight snow, but other areas a little bit of mixing. It's not going to be a huge accumulation. Thunderstorm risk map stretches almost from Parry Sound through Barrie, Kincardine, down through Hamilton and London and Windsor. Non-severe thunderstorms, but again, severe winds could certainly be an issue. Rainfall amounts, we're looking at about 15 to 30 millimeters widespread throughout the GTA. Here's Chrissy now with an update on your commute. Thanks, Chrissy. It's going to be more so tonight where we're going to see those winds really, really kick it up. We're going to see them sustained 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, gusting 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. And it's going to be happening right behind this cold front, so kind of in between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if you have late night travel plans, if you want to get somewhere for Christmas morning, this could certainly be an issue for traveling anywhere along that 401 corridor right up towards Ottawa into parts of southern Quebec. The winds behind it will be strong, but they'll be coming in from more of a northerly direction, which means our temperatures are going to be dropping. Now, as we get into the afternoon, there's the heaviest rainfall after late afternoon, evening. Once that cold front hits all of that warm, kind of I almost want to say it's muggy. It's just really, really damp, kind of moisture-filled air. We are going to be seeing the risk of isolated, non-severe thunderstorms. Once the cold front moves through, the risk diminishes, temperatures drop, and there is the potential for a little shot of snow early tomorrow morning. Stay with us for more on your long-range forecast. Your locals come up on the 10. All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Yeah, that's truth. We've got the last record that was broken, that was set, was back in 1964, and it was 12.2 at Pearson. So, yeah, I mean, with temperatures hovering close to double digits, there's certainly the good potential for that. And the warm temperatures are coming in tonight. I'll talk about that. Wind warning in place. Kingston stretching all the way down through Windsor. Winds could potentially be gusting up to 100 kilometers an hour, 80 to 100 most likely. Gusts are sustained. Wow. I'm going to try and get my words right this morning, I promise. Sustained winds at about 60 kilometers an hour. Certainly not out of the question, especially if we do see some thunderstorm activity, because yes, there is a risk for that. Here's a look at the radar. Some areas seeing rain, other areas in a bit of a break. Toronto, 8 degrees this afternoon. In through Hamilton, we're looking at 9, 8 through Kitchener, 6 through Orangeville, 7 in Barrie and Newmarket. And then tonight in some areas, temperatures actually go up through the evening. Brantford, 10 degrees. Hamilton, 9. St. Catharines, 11. This is going to be our best chance for thunderstorm activity. Once that cold front goes through, look at the temperature contrast. 2 in Barrie, 0 through Orangeville, 1 in Kitchener. This is for tomorrow morning. So we may be waking up to a little bit of snow falling. That'd be nice for Christmas morning, wouldn't it? The thunderstorm risk stretches just about to Parry Sound, over through Barrie, up to Ottawa, down through Kingston, Toronto, Hamilton, London, Windsor. Everybody is in it. This is going to be late afternoon through the evening, potentially overnight. So nocturnal thunderstorms. Don't be surprised if you wake up and you think, is that Santa? Nope. Thunder. 15 to 30 millimeters of rain widespread for the GTA. Your wind story coming up in a moment, but first, here's Chrissy. Yeah, that's certainly going to be our major story. And this is why we're in storm watch. The winds could be damaging. Remember that storm on November 24th? Very similar to that. A lot of people could be waking up without power tomorrow morning. Not great on Christmas, so have a plan B. We do have very strong winds picking up through the evening and through the overnight, sustained at about 60 kilometers an hour, gusting 80 to 100. Damaging winds. Christmas decorations could be flying around. Heaviest winds and rain coming in through the evening, and this is going to be at about 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's where we're going to see the strongest wind gusts. Throughout the day today, it's rain on again, off again, heavy showers moving through the evening. Once this cold front starts to hit all that warm air, that's the best chance for some convective activity. And then behind the cold front, temperatures drop dramatically. By tomorrow morning, we could be waking up to a little shot of snow. Stay with us. Your locals are coming up. Thanks so much, Kevin. Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, tonight is going to be the worst time for travel. If you're planning on hitting the highway anywhere between kind of 9, 10 p.m., 11, 12, 1, 2, it's not going to be pleasant. It is going to be really windy. A wind warning in place stretches from Kingston through Toronto, up through Owen Sound, Guelph, Kitchener, Cambridge, London. Everybody is included in this. Winds sustained 60 plus, gusts 80 plus. So we're looking at damaging winds potentially, trees coming down on power lines. It could not be a good Christmas morning for some people. So if you're planning a huge dinner, if you've got 30 people coming over to your house tomorrow and you're thinking, I got a lot of old trees around, I'm a little nervous, maybe have a plan B, just in case. Rainfall amounts, well, we're seeing rain up and through cottage country right now. We're seeing a bit of a break through the Oakville area, but east of the city, Scarborough, over towards Oshawa, seeing rain. Temperatures this afternoon, mild. Look at Toronto, 8 degrees. Hamilton, we're looking at 9. St. Catharines getting up to 11. Barrie, 7 degrees, stays at 7 this evening. A lot of areas actually start to get warmer. This is where we could potentially be record breaking. Pearson's last warm record was 12.2 back on this day in 1964. So you never know. We could certainly beat it. Severe winds, thunderstorm risk this afternoon through the evening and overnight. And it's going to be cold front triggered thunderstorms. So once that cold front hits all this warm, I almost want to say muggy air, there is the potential. Look at the temperature contrast from this evening to tomorrow morning. 3 degrees through Toronto, 3 in Hamilton, 2 through Barrie, and 0 through Orangeville. Now, it's really all going to depend on where you are and what kind of elevation you stand at. You may see some mixing. You may just see some straight snow if your temperatures are hovering around the freezing mark. Rainfall amounts, widespread 15 to 30 millimeters. We'll talk more about the wind in a moment, but first, here's Chrissy. All right, wind is certainly going to be a big story. We've got winds that are sustained 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, really picking up in intensity through the evening and overnight. That is when we're going to see the strongest winds in between about 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if you have travel plans during that time, avoid them if you can, or change them a little bit. It is going to be just wet. We're seeing rain continuing until tomorrow morning, and that is when we're going to see that transition to snow. But first, before we get there, I just want to pause it on this evening because that is where we're going to be seeing the heaviest rainfall amounts. And this is when we do have the risk to see some isolated, non-severe thunderstorms. Barrie, Orangeville, Guelph, Hamilton, Toronto, through Oshawa, all the way up through Kingston and Ottawa. And then behind this cold front, winds are going to shift direction, coming from more of a northerly flow, which means we could see the potential for a little bit of mixing, a little shot of snow tomorrow morning for Christmas Day. Stay with us. Long range details come up here on the 10th. Well, hopefully you won't be standing out there at 10 o'clock tonight, Kevin, because if you are, they better be paying you overtime. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. We are in storm watch, as Kevin was mentioning. You have very, very windy storm on the way. Remember back in November, I think it was November 24th, we had an incredible windstorm through Toronto. Tree branches came down. A lot of people were without power throughout southern Ontario. Well, this system is setting up very similar, but it's actually going to be warmer. So we have the risk of thunderstorms, which could increase our wind speeds. The wind warning stretches from Windsor through London, all the way to St. Catharines, through Toronto, up through Kingston. Looking at winds sustained 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, gusts 80 to 100. Certainly not out of the question. Here's the rain that Kevin's standing in. It's kind of on again, off again, drizzly and damp. 8 degrees for Toronto this afternoon, 9 through Hamilton, 9 in Brantford, 7 in Barrie as well as in Newmarket. And the temperatures don't change a whole lot during the evening. We are going to be seeing our temperatures go up. Through Brantford, we're actually going to get up to about 10 degrees through the evening hours. We do have that risk of isolated thunderstorms. The best chance of these happening is going to be late afternoon, early evening, is continuing through the overnight. All that warm air, when that cold front hits it, that's where we could see that convective spark. Now, temperatures tomorrow morning are a huge difference. I mean, we've got that cold front. We've got northwesterly winds coming in behind it, so temperatures dropping dramatically. 2 in Barrie, 2 in Newmarket, 3 through Toronto. Depending on where you are, if you're hovering around that freezing mark, you may see straight snow. You may see a bit of a mix as that rain transitions. 15 to 30 millimeters of rain, fairly widespread throughout the GTA. We'll talk more about the wind in just a moment, but first, here's Chrissy with traffic. Thanks, Chrissy. We do have very, very intense winds starting later on tonight. Again, gusting up to 80 to 100 kilometers an hour from about 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. That's when they're going to be the strongest. Heavy rain's going to be in the evening. Tomorrow, it's still going to be gusting, but the winds will start to ease. They're coming in from a different direction. So today we have rain on and off. The risk of isolated thunderstorms is going to be coming in this afternoon, this evening, just ahead of this cold front. When that cold front hits all that kind of warm air, that's where we can see those convective showers clearing behind it, but temperatures cooling down. May see a quick shot of snow tomorrow morning. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, it doesn't look like Christmas Eve behind him, does it? It looks like the middle of fall. We're actually warmer today than we were on Halloween. I know. All right, we do have lots to talk about. We've got this wind warning in place. Windsor, London, Toronto, all the way up to Owen Sound and through Kingston. Wind warning in place. This is for tonight. The winds are going to be sustained anywhere between 40 and 60 kilometers an hour, but the gusts, that's what we have to worry about. 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. That's damaging wind. That could mean trees down on power lines. If you are cooking a huge Christmas dinner for 30 of your closest friends tomorrow, you may want to have a plan B. We have rain through Owen Sound and through Barrie, Toronto, down through Hamilton and in through St. Catharines. This is going to be kind of on again, off again, on again, off again. Gray, drizzly, misty, foggy kind of day. 8 degrees Toronto this afternoon, 9 through Brantford, 6 in Orangeville, 7 in Barrie and Newmarket. Temperatures actually go up through both Orangeville and Brantford as we get into the evening, and this is where we're going to see our biggest thunderstorm risk. We've got kind of warm temperatures, we've got that cold front coming in tonight, and that could bring isolated, non-severe thunderstorms. But the winds, they could certainly go up a couple of notches if we do see thunderstorm activity. So 100 plus localized is certainly not out of the question. Severe wind certainly going to be an issue through the evening and overnight. And then by tomorrow morning, once that cold front moves through, we are going to see a dramatic drop in temperatures. 2 degrees in Barrie as well as in Newmarket, 0 through Orangeville, and 3 in Toronto. Could see a shot of a rain-snow mix and then some possible snow with a little bit of lake enhancement. Widespread 15 to 30 millimeters, and I'll talk more about the wind in a moment, but first, here's Chrissy.
Thanks, Emily. Well, the big weather story in the drive has been the fog, quite dangerous and hazardous through some areas there. Now, I'm really starting to wonder, Emily, if Santa plans on getting me a new fence for the holidays. I lost a chunk of mine in the last windstorm, so what are we in for?
Well, you know, I could check in with him. He's in Russia right now. We're tracking him, and he's in Russia right now, so I'll send him an email. We'll see. Okay, the winds. Huge story tonight. We're going to see sustained winds 60 plus kilometers an hour just at that triple pointed out low. And then we are going to be seeing gusts 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. Throw in some rain and some thunderstorms. Ugh. Not great to be traveling late tonight and early tomorrow morning. We are going to be seeing the bulk of the moisture coming in through the evening hours as well. And I just want to pause it right here because this is our best chance of isolated thunderstorms. That warm air hitting that cold front, that's where we can see convective showers. Behind this cold front, huge temperature contrast. Northwesterly winds move in. We're going to see the potential for some mixing, possibly just for some straight snow. So if you're dreaming of a white Christmas, let's just keep our fingers crossed. By Thursday night and into Friday, we start to clear out. Saturday, a good day, but we've got some rain coming in Saturday night. More on your Storm Watch coverage continues next. Exactly. If you're here at 10 o'clock tonight, Kevin, we can see you at the other end of the parking lot. Winds are going to be sustained 40 to 60, gusting to 80 plus. So 80 to 100, not out of the question. We do have a wind warning in place. I mean, if you're up in Barrie and Orangeville, it doesn't look as though you're going to hit, not Orangeville. Aurelia. There we go. We're in storm watch. It's been a long morning. It's not looking like you're going to be seeing those really intense bands, but it's still going to be quite windy. We've got the rain kind of on again, off again throughout the GTA. Temperatures are mild, 8 degrees through Toronto, 9 through Hamilton. Temperatures are actually going to go up in some areas through the evening. Orangeville, 7 degrees, Brantford, 10. And this is our best chance of seeing some isolated, non-severe thunderstorms. As soon as that cold front hits that warm air, that's where we could see those convective showers. By tomorrow morning, behind the cold front, huge difference. 2 degrees in Barrie, 0 in Orangeville, 3 through Toronto. Could see a rain-snow mix. Depending on where you are, closer to that freezing line, you could be seeing straight snow. About 15 to 30 millimeters widespread throughout the GTA. More on your wind in just a moment, but first, here's Chrissy with traffic. Absolutely. These winds are really going to pick it up. We've got sustained 40 to 60 throughout the day today into that warm sector. And once we hit that triple point of the low, so that's where the warm front meets the cold front, we are going to be seeing those winds really start to intensify. We're going to start to see our gusts getting closer to 60 our sustained getting closer to 60, our gusts 80 to 100 kilometers an hour, certainly not out of the question by 10 p.m., staying very strong until about 2 a.m. Behind this, wind shift direction, and that is where we're going to see that transition from rain to some mixing. So this afternoon, our best bet to see those isolated thunderstorms is going to be just ahead of this cold front. That's where we could see those convective showers. Behind it, the rain starts to ease, but we could get a quick shot of mixing, possibly some snow, and then throughout the day on Thursday and into Friday, things really start to improve. We'll see some sunshine for Friday. Saturday looks good. It's going to be mild again with a southerly flow, but then Saturday overnight, new system arrives throughout southern Ontario with rain. Coming up, more on your Storm Watch coverage. Absolutely not, and God forbid if they do. Yeesh. All right. The big stories today, of course, Kevin was mentioning, is going to be the wind, the rain, the thunderstorm potential, and then the colder temperatures. We do have a wind warning in place, stretches from Kingston, Toronto, through St. Catharines, London, Guelph, Cambridge, Kitchener, Waterloo. Everybody's in it. This is going to be for tonight. Winds are gusting 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. If we see thunderstorms, of course, that number could go up. Rainfall on and off throughout the city of Toronto. 8 degrees this afternoon, 6 through Orangeville, 8 in Kitchener, 9 in Brantford. Temperatures actually go up in the evening. So this is kind of our best chance to possibly break temperature records, and this is our best potential to see some isolated thunderstorms. Non-severe in nature, but you throw in warm temperatures, collide them with a cold front, that is where you're going to see those convective showers. It's widespread throughout the GTA, the risk. By tomorrow morning, behind that cold front, things look much different. 3 degrees through Toronto, 2 in Barrie, 2 in Newmarket, and only 4 in Oshawa. Fine line of mixing could potentially be a bit of an issue for travelers, and then we could see some straight snow, a little bit of lake enhancement. Generally speaking, through the GTA, 15 to 30 millimeters of rain. We'll talk more about the wind in a moment, but first, here's Chrissy with traffic. It is going to be incredibly gusty by tonight. Winds are going to be sustained 40 to 50 kilometers an hour around the dinner hour. Then they start to pick up in intensity as we get into the late evening through the overnight. That is where we're going to see the strongest wind gusts, right around the triple point of this low. So where the warm front meets the cold front, that's where it's going to really intensify. And if you look at the legend, at 60 plus sustained is in the pink. So there's a good chance that over the lakes we're seeing sustained winds above 60 kilometers an hour. Gusts 80 to 100, certainly not out of the question. The winds are going to still be fairly strong throughout the day tomorrow. We are going to be seeing that rain on again, off again this afternoon. Heaviest rain is going to be through the evening hours, and just ahead of that cold front, that is where we could see those convective showers. Behind the cold front, winds shift direction. We are going to be seeing showers continuing, and then they're going to switch into a bit of a rain-snow mix, and then possibly just a quick shot of snow for early Thursday morning, and then by Thursday evening, things really start to clear out. The winds will start to ease. Friday, not a bad forecast. We've got some sunshine to talk about, and then Saturday, 7 degrees with some sun, but then by Saturday night, new system arrives. This one starts off as rain, could end as snow on Sunday. Stay with us. Storm Watch coverage continues. I will. Thank you, Kevin. We are going to be seeing incredible wind gusts for Christmas Eve, which is not great for people that are going to be hitting the highway kind of later on tonight. Wind warning in place. St. Catharines, Toronto, up through Owen Sound, through London, through Kingston. Winds gusting 80 to 100 kilometers an hour, damaging winds. This could be trees down. This could be Christmas decorations flying around. This could be power outages for tomorrow morning. The rainfall on again, off again, on again, off again, foggy, dreary, drizzly kind of day. 8 degrees this afternoon in Toronto, 9 through Hamilton. We're looking at 8 in Kitchener, 6 in Orangeville, 9 in Brantford, but then those two temperatures bump it up a notch. This is our best chance to see some isolated non-severe thunderstorms, but the winds will start to pick up through the evening and overnight. It's that warm air hitting that cold front. That's what can trigger these thunderstorms. By tomorrow morning, a huge temperature contrast. We're looking at 2 in Barrie, 0 through Orangeville, 3 through Toronto, 3 in Hamilton. We've got some mixing in the forecast, and the potential is there for a little shot of snow as well. Now, we are going to see anywhere between 15 to 30 millimeters of rain through much of the GTA. Areas a little bit further north could see more. I will explain this wind story in just a moment, but first, here's Chrissy with traffic. Absolutely. There's a good chance that we're going to see sustained winds 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, gusts 80 to 100, and the strongest winds are going to be coming in tonight. So late evening through the overnight, 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. We're going to see the strongest sustained winds over the lakes, 60 plus, and then of course gusts could be 100 kilometers an hour or more if we do see some localized thunderstorm activity. Tomorrow it's still going to be a windy day. The winds won't start to ease until possibly tomorrow night. The bulk of the moisture is going to be coming in late this afternoon in through the evening. As you can see, this cold front starts to move in towards that warm air, and that is where we can see those convective showers. Behind this cold front, winds are going to be coming in from more of a northwesterly direction, which means temperatures dropping significantly. That's where we're going to see that switch over to a rain-snow mix and possibly a little bit of straight snow for much of the GTA throughout the day tomorrow. After the system is done with us through Friday, we clear out, we'll see some sunshine. Now make sure you stay with us right here at the Weather Network for the next couple of days because your storm watch coverage is going to continue. Ugh. Nothing quite appealing about a dirty snowbank, Kevin. Sorry. Yes, we are in storm watch. Thanks, Kevin. It is going to be a very windy and wet, foggy day. Fog to start the morning. Christy's going to take a look at some traffic cameras in just a few moments to show you where it's the worst. The wind warning stretches from Kingston right down to Windsor. Sustained winds 40 to 60, gusts 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. Those are damaging winds. That could be power lines out. That could be no power for Christmas morning. Have a plan B if you're having 30 of your closest friends over to your house for dinner tomorrow. We've got rain kind of on again, off again, misty, drizzly, damp. 8 degrees in Toronto, 9 through Hamilton by this afternoon. We're looking at 8 in Kitchener, 7 in Barrie, as well as in Newmarket. Orangeville and Brantford, temperatures actually go up. This is going to be the timing in the evening where we do have the biggest risk to see some isolated, non-severe thunderstorms with those winds picking up as soon as that cold front hits these warm, muggy, I know it's not really muggy, but it is kind of muggy, temperatures. We are going to be seeing the best chance for those convective showers. Again, non-severe in nature. Huge difference behind the cold front, 2 degrees through Barrie, 2 in Newmarket by tomorrow morning, 0 through Orangeville, 3 in Toronto and Hamilton. Could see a fine line of mixing, and the potential is also there to see some straight snow if you're hovering around that freezing mark, but it's not going to be a heavy accumulation. It's not going to qualify us into a white Christmas, which is what we need is about 2 centimeters for that. We're looking at 15 to 30 millimeters, fairly widespread throughout the GTA. I'll talk more about the wind in just a moment, but first, here's Chrissy. It's a huge story. This is the reason why we're in storm watch. We've got winds that are going to be sustained 40 to 60 kilometers an hour. And as soon as we get into this evening and late through the overnight, that is where we're going to see the strongest winds right at that triple point of the low where the cold front meets that warm front. That is where we're going to see the gustiest conditions. Sustained winds over the lakes by tonight could be 60 plus, gusts 100 plus. If we do see thunderstorm activity, those winds, of course, could go up as well. Throughout the day tomorrow, it's still going to be quite gusty. Sustained winds 20 to 40 kilometers an hour with gusts a little bit higher, but the rain and the wind will eventually ease. Throughout the day today, our best chance of seeing those isolated thunderstorms is going to be right when that cold front starts to move through and hits all those warm temperatures. So later on this afternoon through the evening, potentially through the overnight as well, nocturnal thunderstorms. It's not going to be Santa on the roof you hear, it's going to be thunder. Now we are going to be seeing a bit of a clearing trend Thursday and into Friday. Conditions really start to improve. We'll actually see some sunshine throughout the day on Friday. But on Saturday, things will start to shift. We've got a new system coming in. This will bring us some rain Saturday overnight, potentially switching into a rain-snow mix for Sunday because a huge temperature contrast with the winds changing. 5 degrees for Friday, 7 for Saturday, only a high of 1 for Sunday. Thanks, Kevin. That's right. We've got wind, we've got rain, and we've got thunderstorm potential. Lots to talk about. We do have a wind warning in place throughout the lower Great Lakes. Kingston stretching down to Windsor. Sustained winds 40 to 60 kilometers an hour. Gusts 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. We are seeing the rain kind of on again, off again throughout much of the GTA. The more intense rain is going to be coming in this afternoon and through the evening. 8 degrees through Toronto, 9 in Hamilton. Take a look at the temperatures through Orangeville and Brantford because they actually go up as we get closer to the evening. Now, the evening with all of this warm southerly air, this is our best chance to see those convective showers, severe, non-severe thunderstorms anywhere throughout the GTA, anywhere throughout southern Ontario, traveling through Parry Sound or up through Ottawa. You could certainly see a few. This is going to be this afternoon, late evening, and through the overnight. So when you think, hey, that might be Santa on the roof, it probably will just be some thunder. You never hear Santa. Severe winds will certainly be a major issue, and then behind the cold front, temperatures are going to change dramatically. We're looking at 3 degrees in Toronto tomorrow morning, 3 through Hamilton, 2 in Barrie, 0 through Orangeville. Depending on your temperature and where you are in terms of your elevation, you might see straight snow. You might get a little bit of mixing, but today it is going to be 15 to 30 millimeters of rain tonight through tomorrow for much of the GTA. We'll talk more about the wind story in just a moment, but first here's Chrissy with traffic. Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah, the winds are certainly going to be the big story, and they're really going to start to pick up in intensity later on this evening and through the overnight. As you can see, through the evening hours, the colors start to deepen. That means our winds sustained are going to be a lot stronger. Even those little flashes of pink, that means they're going to be 60 kilometers an hour plus sustained, which means gusts 80 to 100. Right as we get to that kind of triple point of the low where the warm front meets the cold front, that is where we're going to be seeing those really intense winds firing up. It's still going to be fairly gusty throughout the day tomorrow, but by Friday things will really start to ease and we may even see some sunshine. The heaviest rain is going to be moving in this afternoon and through this evening, and just ahead of that cold front, that's exactly where we can see those convective showers firing up. And then behind the cold front, a dramatic cool down. Winds coming in from more of a northwesterly direction. Temperatures are going to be dropping significantly. By Friday, things look much better. A little bit of sunshine and a high of 5 degrees. Don't go anywhere. Our Storm Watch coverage continues.